afternoon. This is Daniel from Danieldialatone. I have a friend who works at reverb.com in Lincoln, not Lincoln Park. What neighborhood is that? Maybe it's Lakeview? Roscoe Village? I don't know. Anyways, somewhere up there, upper neighborhoods with Chicago. So they have a few pieces of gear laying around and that people have returned over the past year or so, and they asked me to rummage through them and troubleshoot them, and if any of them could be fixed, then I'll do that. I don't know, this one I thought I'd do a little video on. So this is an interface, this Presonus Firestudio Project. Now, I'm pretty picky when it comes to interfaces. Again, to those who don't know, I used to be the head interface modification designer at Blackline Audio. I've heard so many interfaces and I've used so many of them. This I would actually put in the bottom of the pile as far as like sonic quality. These things don't sound good. But, you know, they're useful if that's not a concern of yours. So this particular one isn't connecting. You see I have the Firestudio universal control, and it's not detecting usually the clock source. You hit the clock source and it should have the interface that's hooked up to it listed, but as you can see, the FireWire is connected. But so I'm suspecting that it's actually this FireWire chip right here. So I'm going to switch that out, and I thought I'd do a little video showing you me doing that. And believe it or not, this is actually a very common FireWire chip. In fact, it's so common that I always keep a few on hand, because that's yeah, they very easily go out. And really, the reason why they usually go out is if you either you're plugging in or unplugging. Basically, we call it hot plugging. When the unit is on and you're plugging the FireWire cable in and out with the unit on, it can well, actually I'm not exactly entirely sure what it does, but it's not good. If that is your habit of doing that, I can almost guarantee you that at some point you're gonna fry your FireWire chip. So if you have a mobile rig and you're always actually, this is where it usually happens. It's not so much on this end when you're plugging it into the interface, but when you're plugging your FireWire cable out of your computer and the interface is on, it's basically the same thing. It's the same connections, and you're basically, yeah, you're hot plugging it. So basically the rule is you always want to have your interface off when you're plugging your FireWire cable into your computer or into this thing, you know, whatever that final connection is, but you get the idea. So yeah, I actually tried making a video so that I would actually show taking the chip off, but as I was doing that, I didn't realize the phone was in the vertical shooting position, so the video came out vertical, and I don't know how to fix that. Anyways, so yeah, I've taken the old chip out. I just want to mention a couple things that I use. Kester, I use their solder. they have one that comes with it's called no clean flux. It leaves very little residue, and the residue that it does leave is less reactive to your high frequency circuits than the really dirty flux stuff that some of you may have seen in ultra horrible looking Chinese made products. So I also have no clean flux in a bottle here. I'm actually gonna go through solder this. This again is something I haven't done in a while. Takes just very little. Basically, this is called drag soldering. We use a really good flux. It just keeps the solder separated. You can see that there are plenty of solder bridges on there now, but I'm gonna go over that with the the braid, and I'll clean it up. Sometimes you just have to keep going over this multiple times. There we go. Here, I'm gonna do this. A little magnifying glass here. Yeah, it looks pretty clean. No, couple solder bridges right there. Pretty good. Okay, you can see on the top there's lots of solder bridges. I'm not going to be able to hold the phone and do this at the same time, so hold on. So that's actually not bad for my first time in quite a while doing this. There we go. fairly clean. Alright, I'm going to power it up and see if it works. Well, as I predicted, it was indeed the FireWire chip. We replaced it, and we now get the full mixer window, and we can play music out of here. Unfortunately, this is still a Presonus, and changing the FireWire chip on here does not take away from the fact that this thing, Presonus, is just, I don't know, they sound really muddy. Let's see here, yeah, they just, they use all these, you know, all-in-one converter chips, and they just, all-in-one converter chips, like doing, you know, like 8 channels at once. It's just, and I think these are all single-ended converters, so they're not even sending a balanced signal to these. They're sending, you know, single-ended. That doesn't sound very good. I don't know. I mean, I know for the price, there's some nice things. The knobs feel nice, and you know, the LEDs look nice, but as I keep trying to tell people, what your gear looks like means precisely dick. I'm sorry, but it's how it sounds that makes all the difference. When you go out and buy an interface, don't just go with the interface that has the most buzzwords in the tape op or sound on sound ad. And also, don't always necessarily go off based on what you hear in all these audio forms like Gear Sluts. I mean, they're all just sheep. They're all following, you know, these catchphrases and buzzwords, and you know, just do your own research. Sometimes it will entail getting an interface, trying it out, or I don't know, like if you have a group of friends, you all have different interfaces, do a shootout. Bring them all in one room and do a shootout, and then you can all. Usually these things are pretty cut and dried. Normally there will be an interface that everyone will point to, saying, "Oh wow, that's the better sounding one," and then you know you just sell off everyone. You just sell off their interfaces and then purchase the one that they think sounds the best. But generally, Presonus, they as far as conversion goes, they do the bare minimum. Yeah, it's just you can hear it. It's so muddy. But we did fix this FireWire chip, and that's pretty awesome. Yay!